The last time water had made a huge impact on human history was when Moses sliced open the Red Sea to cross there and free his beloved people from their Egyptian oppressors. What a dramatic escape! And it seems that after that historic incident, it was also the water's last great stardom and was virtually taken for granted since then. Today, water is hardly a source of any head-turning headlines, fascination, amazement, or even a breakthrough. In other words, it wasn't at the top of anyone's attention. For most people, water, wherever it comes, is just plain, old and boring tap water. But one man decided that it is time to bring back the old glory of water again. Bring it back at everyone's consciousness and let it make huge waves again for everyone to marvel. But why should someone even bother to do that? That's because of his groundbreaking discovery. Through his discovery, it became clear to him that water, an element we have been taking for granted for so long, has been waiting forever for us to discover and unlock its biggest secret that can literally change the world. He was Dr. Jack Benveniste, the late medical doctor and immunologist who had made a groundbreaking discovery that water has a memory. He discovered that it has the ability to carry the memory of a substance even if the molecules of the added substance are no longer present. He called his discovery water memory. Even Elsa is a firm believer of this discovery as she mentioned it in Frozen 2. See if you can remember it. What's more, Dr. Benveniste discovered that a substance molecules have a sound, which could be converted into a digital file. Now, any substance can be replicated in any water without the presence of the substance itself. How? By just exposing water on the sound of its molecules. This discovery has immense potential in various areas of our lives, most especially in our health and healing. But if you thought that the world, especially the scientific community, have praised Dr. Benveniste for his groundbreaking history and was showered with awards and recognitions, you will witness a bitter twist in his life-changing discovery. To know more about what happened after his great discovery, let's take a deep dive and take a closer look at why this discovery remains a controversial and a red-hot issue in the scientific community until today. But before diving in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are posted. Get ready to be blown away as we unveil right before your eyes the mysteries of the ever-controversial water memory. At number 7, Dr. Jack Benveniste suffered the fate of Galileo with his groundbreaking discovery. Even with Dr. Benveniste's amazing discovery, he received no praise, recognition, or even a Nobel Prize because of it. Instead, what he received is the exact opposite of these things. His findings back then were so beyond the norms of the scientific community's established ideas that it received a sharp backlash. His discovery caught fire after publishing his findings in the prestigious scientific journal Nature. After receiving a sharply negative response from the scientific community, the journal had to send a committee to Dr. Benveniste's laboratory to determine his discovery's authenticity. Unknown to Dr. Benveniste, the three-person committee's main mission was not to authenticate his discovery but to find a way on how to discredit his colossal findings. A mission which they successfully did. The journal Nature then did a major turnaround and officially claimed that Dr. Benveniste's discovery was nothing but a pseudoscience, or in other words, something without scientific basis, therefore something not to be taken seriously. Receiving such a negative response from a prestigious journal like Nature means death for any scientist's prestige, credibility, and most of all, career. Dr. Benveniste might not have been punished like Galileo, who discovered that the Earth revolves around the Sun, earned the fury of the major religious figures back then. But it seems that Dr. Benveniste received a way more painful punishment than what Galileo has experienced. Dr. Benveniste fought till the end until his death in 2004 to prove his discovery's validity. But all those battles that he fought ended in vain. Fortunately, Despite these misfortunes, one great man will soon save his discovery and give it a well-deserved justice. Let's get to know this man with our top 6. A Nobel Prize winner saves Dr. Benveniste's discovery and legacy from the ashes. Professor Luc Montagnier, a Nobel Prize winner and a virologist who discovered the HIV virus, is determined that his discovery wouldn't be the last legacy he would leave in this world. And even with his prestigious Nobel Prize medal and a secured place in scientific history, he knows in his heart that he hasn't reached the pinnacle of his career. He knows that there is something else to be done, and that something lies beneath the ashes of the late Dr. Benveniste's discovery. Being fully aware of what the late innovative scientist has gone through because of his discovery, Professor Luc Montagnier decided to plunge on the treacherous water of the water memory to bring it back to life and prove to the world, especially to the scientific community, that water memory is real and that it has an immense capacity to solve a lot of health problems we're dealing today. In Professor Montagnier's own words, "I've always been searching for the extraordinary. I find it hard to work on an established theory. I'd rather innovate." And this time, the extraordinary thing he searches for carries a lot of risks that a usual Nobel Prize winner would not even dare to take. He is very well aware that he might or will certainly receive ridicule from the scientific community because of his new venture. There is also the risk that it might taint or completely smudge his well-established reputation, and finally, he already expects thin funding for his controversial venture. And for a man who has already dealt with various types of viruses for most of his life, danger is a thing he is already familiar with, and he is willing to take another one. But this time, the stakes could be so high and the consequences could be so fatal. By paddling on the controversial waters of water memory, Montagnier is lucky to have a Nobel Prize medal hanging on his neck, giving him the leverage to enlist fellow scientists and research laboratories for this venture. But he knows that his Nobel Prize medal isn't enough to completely change the scientific community's behavior towards water memory, but the handful of scientists participating in his cause to prove that water memory is a reality is more than enough to chase his elusive dream. Some of the scientists who participated in the water memory experiments were at first skeptical about the venture, but the fact that a Nobel Prize winner was more than willing to gamble everything he has just to prove that this past discovery is true is something to be taken seriously. They threw their skepticism out of the window and provided all the assistance they can give for Professor Montagnier. Picking up where Dr. Benveniste had left, Professor Montagnier and his small team replicated the late medical doctor's experiments and studied it further to strengthen the foundation of water memory. As a fitting tribute to Dr. Benveniste, the experiment ended with 98% success, confirming that, indeed, water has a memory. On top of this great news, one scientist has also clearly proved that water is indeed alive and can remember. But the great thing about this one is he discovered it in a totally different way. How? Let's find out with our top 5. One scientist has also discovered that water has a memory, but in a very different way. Dr. Masaru Emoto, a Japanese scientist, is also a firm believer that water has a memory and consciousness, which he successfully proved through his series of experiments. He observes water structures in a frozen state when it is exposed to various things like words, phrases, or music. When he exposed a glass of water with positive words, positive phrases, positive music, and prayers, its frozen structure reveals beautiful flowers or diamonds in its water crystals, which is breathtaking to see. But when a glass of water is exposed in negative words, negative phrases, or heavy rock music, the water's frozen state reveals an ugly asymmetrical form in its crystalline structure. Though his experiments are not intended to carefully study the miraculous effects of holy water, his amazing discoveries provide a logical explanation on why there are countless cases where the so-called holy water was able to produce miracles, such as healing various sickness, which, in the eyes of medical experts, are obviously impossible. Dr. Masaru Emoto has clearly proved that human consciousness and intention can alter the energy of water, and it can be transformed to another person by drinking or being exposed. Diving deeper at this exciting yet controversial discovery, what really are the exact things that the late Dr. Benveniste discovered on water? It's time to explore more details with our top 4. A detailed look at the water memory. Dr. Benveniste's discoveries go against the norms of the scientific community back then. It was so advanced and unbelievable that it received sharp criticisms from various scientists all over the world. Here are the details of his discoveries. First, if any substance is diluted to water, the water has the ability to carry the memory of that substance even if the molecules of the added substance are no longer present. Second, the molecules of a substance has a spectrum of frequency or sound. When the spectrum is digitally recorded with a computer and played back to clean water through an electronic transducer, the water can remember the actual substance. It will act as if that substance had been present. Dr. Benveniste called this digital biology. But there is one more shocking truth that water memory has just revealed. Let's find out with our top 3. Water memory proves that toxins may still remain in a multi-filtered water. One of the most important things that water memory unveils right before our eyes are the health dangers that surround us, dangers that we thought didn't exist, and most importantly, it reveals the health dangers that we thought we had already eradicated. Take, for example, our current water filtration system. With groundbreaking facts that water memory has revealed, it is obvious that our filtration system aren't specifically designed to eradicate the elements that water memory says should be filtered out. Water memory reveals that when the water is polluted, it still contains or remembers those contaminants even if it has gone through multi-stage filtrations. In other words, polluted water is still polluted even after filtrations because it still remembers where it came from. For so long, we've trusted our state-of-the-art water filtration systems to keep our water as safe and as clean as possible, when all along, the danger of polluted water remained in the crystal clear water that we've been drinking all this time. With this fact, there is a need to overhaul our current water filtration systems and migrate into something that has the capacity to filter not only the physical contaminants but also the memory of pollution that flows within it. It sounds much like science fiction. This kind of filtration has already been proven to work. But is water the only element that can surprise us with mind-blowing abilities? Let's find out with our top 2. Aside from water, stones and metals has also been proven to have healing properties. Water indeed holds unbelievable secrets, as we have witnessed earlier, but other elements too are not far behind when it comes to amazing abilities, most especially in the area of healing. For instance, gold is proven to cure respiratory disease like asthma and helps reduce joint inflammation and pain associated with rheumatoid arthritis. Silver, on the other hand, is used to treat digestive and urinary system problems due to its antibacterial, antiviral, and antifungal properties. For copper, it has been proven to improve metabolism, enhance insulin activity, and reduces inflammation. Copper's healing properties aren't a new discovery in the field of medicine. Ancient civilizations are the first ones to tap its healing properties and use it to treat ailment on genital organs, respiratory tract, lung, and skin infections. Gems and precious stones also contain healing energies that can be utilized by wearing them as ornaments such as necklaces or rings. You can even place them in water overnight and then drink the water the following day. And last but not least, for our top 1, the jaw-dropping potential of water memory that the world would witness soon. Through water memory, healing can now be transferred anywhere in the world through the internet. As unbelievable as it sounds, the unlocked secret of water memory, when merged in the internet's power, can literally transfer any intended healing anywhere in the world where there is an internet connection. But how? When Dr. Benveniste discovered that a substance molecules have a sound, it was already easy for him to convert it into a digital file because the technology to do it already exists. But at that time, the internet is still in its infancy, so the environment and technology are not yet ready to execute such a miraculous capability to send digital files anywhere in the world. With this limitation, the immense potential of the water memory is not yet tapped, and the series of misfortunes that happened on the water memory research and to Dr. Benveniste himself further delayed its progress. Water memory's world-changing potential has to wait for a couple of more decades before the internet technology can catch up and cover the majority of the world. And most importantly, it has to wait for a brave man who will pick up the legendary work of Dr. Benveniste and resurrect it into full glory. And these 2 major events have already happened, making the world witness the immense potential of water memory. Since water memory has already taught Dr. Benveniste and us how to convert the healing properties of water into a digital file, the file can now be literally transferred anywhere in the world through the internet. This capability can literally and figuratively change the world. This would be a fitting tribute to a man who has fought his way to reveal the truth for the benefit of mankind, even if it means taking heavy sacrifices just to do it. Dr. Benveniste may not have tasted victory in his lifetime, but at last, his well-deserved honor, prestige, and justice have come into a full circle. With all the things that we have just learned today about water element, it highlights its big secrets and the one important thing that we usually take for granted: the big importance of loving our environment. Since we have learned that water can indeed remember what it has gone through, it should be a wake-up call for us to be more vigilant in treating water as a precious resource, because it is alive, conscious, and most of all, it can remember. For today's top 7 facts about water memory, what's the one fact that became unforgettable for you? Please drop us a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell to be notified when new videos are posted. Don't go away as we present another exciting and mind-blowing video in just a few moments.